Ha ha! What's up? We're back.
What's up?
Booma and Biscuits in the house. What's happening, Biscuits?
What's up, brother? How you
The
doing?
season of the Gong is upon us. This is episode 3, and I hope you guys all caught that intro to this one. It's getting kind of interesting. Did you catch it, Biscuits?
Oh, I caught it. I mean,
You're living it, right?
no, I'm not living that. That was a dream. I mean, let's be clear. That was a dream sequence. You know what I'm saying? I would never
Let's be
admit,
clear, we're not sure
yeah,
it is, but there's hints along the way that there could be something else going on with with
I
what
would
we're seeing
never,
here.
I would never get a massage, even in the vicinity of the CIA. Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't want to upset anybody.
Oh man, dude, Coley's pissed. Coley's so pissed, that bitch. And she even made it on the title tag. She sneaks in on us. I don't know what to do. I was saying that she's the Yoko Ono of the group now, so I don't know what's gonna happen. You'll have to
Oh
tune
my
in to find
goodness.
out. But it's gonna get kind of interesting to see what's really going on here. Why are we seeing this? It's totally unlike Biscuits to be hanging out with the Silver Fox, getting a massage, and you know,
Well, as
well,
far as you know, I mean, as far as anybody knows, who knows? But it's interesting like that. I swear, dude, it's so uncanny. I don't like hearing my own voice anyway, And then like to hear
oh
it
yeah.
just rendered by some software program is so creepy. You know what I mean? So I was listening to that and I thought about like in some timelines or scenarios or whatever you want to say that like it's some of these politicians or whatever may have been sitting around and then all of a sudden seen like a full blown body double of themselves doing something that they had no idea about on TV and then like, what just happened there? So I don't I
Yeah,
don't like the
man.
I don't like hearing the digital twins of myself.
So if you guys don't know, I mean, it sounds like Biscuits is reading a script awfully, like he's reading the lines in a way
Yeah, and
that's
it's not.
not the
That's
character.
the other
Like,
thing. It would always be better than that if I tried. You know what I mean? It was so it was
so
so oh, I don't know, everything about it. You could just tell that was a nightmare version of me is what I'm saying. I
right.
would never talk to anybody like that.
And some of the stupid things. So I know I'm working with AI programs, and people forgot about the AI, but it's a creative scale. It's on a small scale with smaller projects. But I had to clone Allison's voice from the other program because that was giving me infinite usages. But now it's like freaking charging out the butt. So it's just like I had to clone Allison's voice in the other program and start using that one a little bit more than I hadn't been using because the other one was infinite. But I had cloned Biscuit's voice just to mess with him. And then it just works out because it's like, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could have you read some lines if I wanted, but when I go into making those videos, I have an idea what I'm gonna do, but I never really know what I'm gonna do. But I have ideas that are bigger overhead. So what I'm
Well, I mean,
saying, we got some crazy stuff going on. The handler is pissed. Biscuits has he stifled Operation
well,
Dreamstalker,
that's
so that's
true.
interesting.
I've stifled some operations. That is true. That's not too far from the truth.
that
I have done that a few
was
times.
That was one of the CIA's best. And don't forget, if you get on the fourth wall, you can get a custom made Synergist games. And the word on the street is the digital street, if you will. Sabrina Wallace and I will be bringing back Synergist games next Tuesday. So today is the
Nice.
Digital Dojo season of the Gong. And then next week, we're going to be bringing, I think, another round of Jeopardy with the Mac IDs. But just throwing it out
Hmm.
there to get you excited. We'll see what happens.
Well, I look forward to the. I was not. I was off the grid, so to speak, whenever the Synergist games were going on. So I didn't. I only caught them on a replay. So I'll be excited to catch one live. That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. They were fun, and it was always crazy because both times that we got one of them in, it was last second trying to figure out these programs that run those games like like you would on hanging out with people or whatnot. But so we'll see what we can pull off this time. But that's in the works, and we'll see what happens. But welcome everybody. What's up, Solana? What's up, Coley? So, oh, I thought you said Psycho Solana. I was like, what is going on in here? What's up, Seven Pure? 7 Pure, what's up? F Fox. the Order of Saint Michael. Carl and Hanny in the house, and thank you all for everybody that's been donating. We are keeping track of that, and we have. I don't know if I was going to pass it off to Biscuits. I don't know. You know, obviously we can't, tell you everything, but in a general sense, where have we've gotten now in this hashtag GG operation that we unfolded on the oracular series?
Well, I mean, we're rolling. We've. I guess we could probably announce because we're going to be. I guess we'll put the email address out there or whatever soon enough. But we got our domain locked up. We got sort of the administrative portions of our business, I think, are finalized. So we're going to start now with marketing. There'll be some press release type stuff. I mean, not press release necessarily, but that information
Right.
releases or whatever, flyer type things, where we're going to start to lay out kind of the roadmap for the next 18 to 36 months. And we'll lay it out in stages, and it will become more clear in stages based on deliverables like copyright, trademark, and some other things with respect to just protecting intellectual property and managing the development of the infrastructure of this entire ecosystem, which I think is probably the best word for what, for the totality of what we're talking about, is sort of
Right.
an ecosystem and a corporation. And I don't know if you watched it, but I was talking with you and Dean, and when we were taking care of some of the administrative stuff and getting all the domain and emails and things set up, I thought it reminded me of the short film which was a part of a Monty Python film, the Crimson Permanent Assurance Company, where this accountancy firm, basically like pulls its anchors up out of the streets and becomes a pirate ship, but a building, and goes around and does corporate raiding on other finance and accountancy firms like pirates would. So I just thought, well, maybe this will be like that. And I don't know if you went and watched it, Dorian, but you should, because I went and watched it whenever I thought of it, and I was like, yeah, that's great. Even though, I guess Monty Python, probably a bunch of Freemason freaks, as it turns out, but
Sure. I'll have to check that out. I never really got huge into Monty Python. I've heard it along the way. A lot of people that are really got into it and stuff like that. So I'll have to definitely check out that episode. But yesterday we accomplished a lot, and so the donations are really helping. And just so everybody is reminded and clear, any donations that come in on the season of the Gong episodes as well will immediately go to the hashtag GG operation that we got going on, and then we'll have more of the oracular series. And man, after yesterday, I was really stoked with where we're at, and there'll be times where creatively, like what we're trying to do to make it our own and to make it unique and to make it something that we all appreciate and love. That could take a little bit of time, but overall, progress has already been made that I never would have imagined, I guess, not that long ago. So we really appreciate all the support that's been coming our way, and as long as that continues, it's going to be so exciting. And you guys you got to get excited, like to actually think you can get like some of these packages of cards when you get them in the mail, and then to be able to open them and see what you got, and to we'll be able to talk about it. But see that come into fruition, I'm freaking super stoked.
what do you mean you
So.
think it's going faster than you expected? Like, I mean, I'm glad to hear it,
Like
I guess.
I don't want to talk about any like necessarily the specifics, but like getting like talks about like the like logo stuff, and then like locking down the business emails, if you will, the
Right,
stuff
right.
that we got accomplished, and then the domain
Well,
and all that
that's,
kind of stuff.
yeah, I think, and that's one of the things that I want to try to mitigate, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but like I have a gentleman that I consider to be a friend that, which is pretty rare for me, and I know this guy because I was a customer of a company that he worked at. He was a contractor basically, and over the years, I like started interacting with him more and more, and along the way, I kind of he would talk about like frustrations or whatever with the company he worked at, and I kind of just like encouraged him that he should start his own thing. And he's like, well, I just don't really know what to do. Anyway, in the conversations that I had with him, I realized that there are roadblocks that when it comes to starting a business that people don't necessarily maybe it's not intuitive for people to get around. I think a lot of people have ideas that are monetizable. I think a lot of people have skills that are monetizable. And I
Right.
think that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that the the people that own and operate these big multi-million dollar and even billion dollar industry or businesses in the United States are somehow special, or that they would be particularly impressive out of the context of whatever business it is that they run. And the reason that I think people must have this misconception a fair amount is because I had it for, I guess, a lot of my life. Um,
Sure.
and I mean, it's the intuitive thing to have, the way everything is set up. But it's totally incorrect. I mean, there's nothing really impressive about most of those people. What's impressive, and it's in many cases, there's really not even actually anything impressive about the business. That's the that's the tragic thing about it. It's I'm not even going to touch that. It's the tragic thing about it is, well, now I've lost my train of thought. I mean, that's fucked me up.
That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Liz? Hillbilly
I'm
Hearts
sure
in
that,
the house. It's good to see you here. I hope you're
yeah.
feeling
So
better.
good
That
job. You
was
got me. You got
great.
me on that one. You got me on that one. That messed me up. I'm
Right. But
saying
you were
I
just
think
saying how
that
business start out, it could be a little bit
it
more
takes
difficult or
it
some
only
robots come in the way.
it only takes doing as much as is necessary at the time, with a mind to what may be necessary in the future. And there's stuff on the wheel about that. So I mean, like as long as I'm choosing the words that are going on the, yeah, you got me. I mean, you got me. You got me. What can I say? It was a good one. So
That
there's
was a
stuff on
good
the
one.
wheel where like aspects of this are going to come up, and we're recording other aspects of not only doing the business, but also designing portions of it as we go along, so that there can be like a retrospective, which will be, hey, if we fail spectacularly, it'll be a good retro. It'll be good content anyway to do the retrospective on the spectacular failure. But I don't expect that that's what's going to happen. I mean, I feel like I have I have put a lot of thought in it, and since we have been working together, we have put more thought in. And Dorian and Dean both have distinct skill sets, which are super valuable to me because they're strong in a lot of places where I'm not, and vice versa. I think so. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that you feel like progress has been dramatic and fast, because that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to do. I mean, I only seem lazy when there's nothing to do.
Sure. Well, I was freaking yeah, I was just super stoked. I mean, some people on the Telegram and you got to see it, but I was playing around with some of the good old programs that I have, and this is how I felt about it.
Yes!
Now I don't know what the heck was going on with the motorcycle staying in one place. It's like it's a spinning a wheelie and defying all gravity. But hashtag GG, I felt like we made some big moves. We got things secured. We got things locked down in encryption as far as our communications go, and now we got a platform that we can feel a little bit more safer, I guess, when we have our intellectual property on there, and we're keeping track of everybody that is giving donations, and we'll have an accounting of the money that's being put in and how we're using it wisely. And I feel like we are. So I'm stoked about those aspects of things and more to come. There's unique things that we all bring to the table, and Dean having experience more being of the younger generations, if you will. with some of these cards and the card games and the various things that have come out, and what's cool, what's not, the kind of thing is like also a part of it. And then obviously your business experience, and maybe just some of my crazy and this awesome community that we have here that is looking for answers as to how we can expose more truths, make it fun for people that don't want to listen to a damn thing we have to say, and then to have the idea that these things will be physically packaged and sent to people. Like that'll be, I'm sure it won't be easy, but I look forward to that challenge, and I think we're gonna get it. And why is there a K?
Oh, because that's the first letter of the email address that I used to set that up.
It's just throwing me off, man. All right,
Yeah.
well, we're all here for this.
I have, I be a shock to you, but I don't have the best relationship history with YouTube. So you know what I mean? We have, I only got that account like a month ago or so, or got it, where I could work on it.
Where they allowed you to have that account?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I get it. Instagram had kicked me off for a few years, and then all of a sudden they just allowed me back on. It was weird. I've been telling some people I just think that they're getting to the point where they're cocky and they think that they got everything handled, and there's nothing that can stop them from continuing to push forward Agenda 2030. That's the way that I see it. I'm not saying that's the way that it is, but now we got the Iran war kicked off, so all kinds of crazy going on in the world, but they are allowing us back on the platforms, and YouTube's been kind so far, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll do a good old rug pull at some point, but I hope not. So let's see what we got for the wheel. This is the alphabet soup wheel. Remember the wheel of 4 chins? How many chins? It was 4 chins. Now it's the alphabet soup wheel. See what we got.
It's just going to be all the gongs again.
I know, that's what it was last time, right?
Yeah, well, imagine the first one. Oh, wow.
The CIA.
Well,
Imagine that, considering
this one's gonna surprise you. I'm telling you.
Okay.
This one's gonna surprise you, because I'm not talking
Right.
about the Central Intelligence Agency. I'm talking about. I wonder if you know, or if people are aware, that the Department of Health and Human Services at this time has approximately 120 active CIAs. Did you know that? And I'm talking about corporate integrity agreements, which are basically when a corporation or some sort of business entity that is regulated by the Department of Health and Human Services has committed, fraud or some other type of crime, but they have some product, or there's some reason why, justice is not going to be done, and the company must continue to operate. And then they come in, they extract some money, and they come up with an agreement between the corporation or people in the corporation and the government, where they say, this is what it looks like if you act with integrity going forward. Promise us that you will, and however many millions of dollars you gave us, we'll forget about all the fraud, etc. So there are lots of CIAs operating right now in this country all around, where people who otherwise would be in prison are allowed to just continue to make millions, because they are the opposite of too broke to go to prison. They're too rich, too connected, or have too much cash flow to go to prison. So they just have to go back to work. And I mean, as it turns out,
they consider this 100. Why is it 120?
Because there's 120 different organizations that have been forced into a corporate integrity agreement with the federal government in order to continue operation due to their past actions.
Do we have that list? Do you know that list?
Well, the government has that list. You can go and look it up. I'm just saying it's.
Yeah, I want to look it up.
People.
Yes, I am in the CAT intelligence agency, so I guess there's 121. Yeah.
Well, if you include the real CIA, the treasonous CIA, and all of these. And I believe there's probably corporate integrity agreements with the federal government in probably under every regulatory agency that exists. You know, the federal government enters into these agreements when they'd just rather not send someone to prison for their crimes.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to do things. I think we're seeing a lot of those operatives in the alternative media.
Well, I suspect there's a corporate, there must be a government integrity agreement in place with every congressman. I mean, because they're allowed to do treason. So,
right.
They got some sort of détente.
I didn't know that, though. I need to look up the 120. That would be an interesting one to look into and then see how it coordinates with the prison system.
Well, it's a 0% overlap. The whole point of there is no overlap between the prison system and the people and corporations in these agreements. That's the point.
Well, it seems their people from the prison systems go into these programs, though, do they not?
Oh, I don't know. No, I mean, I'm saying these are like Freemasons and business owners and shit that are above the law. They just got to pay a fine for whatever they do.
Oh, I thought you were saying, I mean, I guess it's corporations that are committing.
Yeah, corporate integrity agreement.
So these aren't people these aren't necessarily people that even have records, and a lot of Freemasons.
No, these are people that should have records, but instead have a corporate integrity agreement because they have a checkbook big enough to avoid prison.
Right. And just so we're clear, Carl, that's not how it works. You give us $50 and we might put your name, Carl and Hanny, on the next wheel.
Yeah, that's the thing. And there'll be a word. We'll have to come up with a word for every letter of your name.
That's right. Or you could pick it. So Carl and Hanny, we probably need a little bit more. So I don't know if it'd be Carlos and Hanny, Carlton and Hanny, Carl, whatever, and Hanny. Carl smokes bud and Hanny. So sell some of that bud, bro, and pay us some money. And it not only goes to you being able to put letters or name or whatever on the wheel or part of the wheel. It'll go to #GG, and we'll increase our abilities to move this hopefully faster. Some things will just take time. And then it's only controversy in the mind of sheeple, NPCs, and placeholders. This is my handler. Welcome, handler. Have you heard that, Biscuits? That JK is my handler?
I've heard it, yeah.
Yep, that's the word on the street. That's one of them. That's one of the good old gossiping bullshitters. I had no idea, though. We'll have to look that up. What's up, Lizarachi? I hope you like that picture that I was able to pull off for you. It took me a little while to get back to you, but I appreciate you, and welcome, Sir Biscuits. Sir Biscuits.
So the point is, buddy, that now we're I feel like we're probably about 10 years away from being eligible for corporate integrity agreements instead of prison. So we got that. We got that to aspire to.
Yeah, well, those will be the ones that we're competing against, right? Basically competing against everything that exists, because everything
That's correct. Yes.
There's probably some family-owned businesses holding on to some integrity, but they're pressured to the max. There was that one business that was a family-owned big business. They were selling like apple cider vinegar, and Katy Perry bought it out. Very sad to see some of these businesses. I can't remember. They do like salad dressings and stuff like that. But Katy Perry buys it, and then they start putting cheap shit in it, and it's nothing the same.
Yeah, that's the thing. There will never be a mechanism by which any of us or the three of us will be able to sell out. In other words, this company will be unsell-outable just intrinsically. It will be, you'll be able to transfer leadership with, through certain mechanisms that will be workflows, processes, like governance, real governance, where everyone that is concerned will have, a necessary level of input in order to achieve that deliverable of shifting governance, right? And even that would not be akin to selling out. This thing's not meant to ever be sold. It's meant to do what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. We're
And
not in this to get rich. We're
and
not in
that,
this to do what these people usually set out to do. A lot of these people just create a business hoping a big whale will come in and buy them out, and they'll make their money. We're not doing that. We're also doing this to get out truth.
yes.
I know, right? Yes, that whole Jim Carrey thing. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, whatever. But then, like, the more it's played out, it's obvious that somebody was wearing a mask and pretending to be Jim Carrey, right? We'll see what happens on the wheel or whatnot. But this business thing is freaking super exciting. That's why we kept the whales in the back on Biscuits. I freaking love that picture that you made, bro. Uh,
Those whales are stuffed with cash. We gotta.
correct. We
I don't
gotta
really.
harpoon
I
them.
guess I watched a few seconds, like maybe 30 seconds, that Jim Carrey thing, and I can't really care. This is like, I can't care. I don't know if like, because who knows? Who cares if it's him or not? If it isn't him, fuck that guy for pretending to be him. If it is him, like, what happened to
Yeah,
him?
it's fucking definitely not him. But let's check this out. It's so easy to pull up this shit anymore.
Yeah, I
But
didn't put it on the wheel, so if you want to see it, you'll have to.
yeah, real quick, let's just let me show you guys this. If you don't know what we're talking about, Jim Carrey is breaking the internet over his unrecognizable appearance, an unusual sounding voice, and apparent eye color change at the 51st Caesar Awards in Paris, with many claiming something seems very off about the actor. The eyes were definitely different, and there was some guy that claimed to be the one that's doing it. But let's watch this.
I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But it's then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead. But
So yeah, so it was not Jim Carrey, man. I don't know who the
Yeah,
heck that was, but it was someone like either it was probably a guy wearing a mask, like they were saying. Well, maybe there's crazy shit going on with that. And then if anybody has seen Sharon Osbourne and her daughter, they
oh
were at some
man,
awards, and that was freaky, man. I think I showed that on. I thought I showed that on something, but let me pull that up. That one won't be hard to find either. Sharon Osbourne and her daughter, I'm pretty sure, has taken
they look like
Ozempic.
they're
I don't know
they
that
look
for
like
sure.
they're
I'm not saying I know.
they look like they're on the South Bronx parasite diet. You know,
I mean, if
they got a
you don't
tapeworm.
know what Kelly Osbourne looked like, you have. I mean, let's. Oh my gosh, this is just crazy. Here she is. I can't believe this is her now. Now, let me let's scroll down. Like she started to get a little bit skinnier there. I can't believe that's her. This is what her body looks like now. This is where it was at the award show, and this is 33 seconds, so that's lovely. But this is what it is.
God knows I wish he was here to accept it himself. So you've got the booby prize, you've got me doing it. But I know that
It's just crazy, dude. Like she has no fat on her, and she was a chubby little girl when she was growing up. I'd like to see a picture of her before all this happened. Dude, it's just
Well, I
is
mean,
that the is I mean it's been that way for a while, I guess, that they're trying to make these actors and actresses skinnier for whatever reason. The skeleton
I
look is the sexy thing, I guess, but that's just scary.
I mean, just I'm not a doctor, but let me play one on TV for a moment and propose that if someone came to you and offered you a drug, instead of saying it will help you lose weight, said that this will dissolve at a basically proportional rate your intramuscular fat as well as your subcutaneous fat as well as your visceral fat. So all the different types of fat in your body are going to dissolve at the same time. Since you are overweight, you have a much higher proportionally amount of subcutaneous fat, most likely, so that by the time your subcutaneous fat is gone, all of your intramuscular and all of your visceral fat will have already disappeared. And so you will go immediately from like kind of pudgy, looking like you're losing weight, to sunken Skeletor wrapped in floppy skin suit. So, I mean, see, but probably none of the pharmaceutical sales reps ever described that the action of that drug in that fashion whenever they are selling it to people, selling it to doctors and patients or whatever. I'm sure they just said it helps you lose weight, because it does something with your, what is it, semaglutide or something like that? Anyway.
Oh, I don't know, man.
She has no intramuscular fat left.
Yep.
None. All of her muscles are just sinew, tendons, bone, skin, and fascia. There's nothing left. Perfect for taxidermy, not good for much else.
For taxidermy. I mean, her father just died, so maybe that's the thing, but I don't know. I really don't know. I know her mom was like, Sharon was literally on a show talking about how she cannot gain weight now that she took Ozempic, which I thought was kind of crazy they allowed her to say that, because I thought these people were a little more controlled than that, and you would think, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's just, who knows? Some people, when they hear that still. They hear I can't gain weight, and they're thinking like, yes, I gotta take that. I don't ever want to gain weight again. And then you end up looking, potentially, I don't know if that's the case, like freaking Kelly Osbourne, a freaking skeleton. It's my bonus is at stake. I'm trying to decide, man. I'd like to do that show with you. We'll have to figure that out. I don't know how to communicate with you. If you're still here, JK, you might have took off. I know you're going to take off because you're in a different time zone. But either do a Booma stream of featuring JK, or just do a JK show and then take stuff from the audience. That's what I'm trying to figure out, and what day that would work. But
I mean, that's true, Peaches, for real. Like your brain is mostly fat, so it's just the most insane thing I can imagine to inject yourself with something that dissolves fat.
Yeah, how would you be able to sleep and relax?
I'm sure I'm not characterizing the pharmacokinetics of semaglutides correctly when I say dissolves fat, but I'm saying that I understand how pharmaceutical companies generate clinical data in order to be able to say certain things without saying other things, and not have it be legally characterizable as a false claim, or, so, I mean, it's so all insidious, the way that aspects of drugs can just be sort of buried in other technobabble horseshit from 1,000 PhDs and clinical trials that are murky. I mean, I just can see, you can just look at a motherfucker like her and understand what that drug is doing. It's dissolving fat, irrespective of what type of fat it is, which, I mean, is, when they remove fat from someone's body using liposuction, which is, apart from the surgical complications, if it's done correctly, liposuction is fairly safe. I mean, you end up with scars and whatnot, but it has all the comorbidities of surgery. But I mean, it's not some thing that impacts your visceral tissues of your body's makeup, and the makeup and tissue structure of your organs, and the conductivity of the tissue in your heart. I mean, it's fucking insane to dissolve a type of your body's tissue uniformly and expect to come out of that process looking like anything other than some sort of mutant. I mean, you've mutated yourself in the literal sense of the word. And I guess that's my rant about those people.
Yeah.
Or that drug. I mean, I mean, whatever. Like, people need help losing weight. I get it. It sucks losing weight, I guess. But fortunately, I've never really had much trouble with that. But
Well, if you were to listen to a lot of the Q-tarded influencers, and I'm not against people that believe in Q, as I keep repeating myself, I'm not against you. I don't want people to be like pissed at me because I'm just against psyop running motherfuckers that do it for profit. Which Q was saying not to do it for profit. The Patriots are selfless, so it's ridiculous that these people have these large platforms making all this money. But anyways, they would have pushed, that all the arrests were going to happen and all this stuff, regardless of arrests and stuff like that. You never would have thought that if Trump and RFK Jr. actually meant well, that they would come in and they would present a freaking weight loss drug. Why not get the poisons and bullshit out of our food? Why not penalize the FDA and start going after some of the shit that we need to like start really like cleaning? Whatever happened to cleaning the water? That was such a big thing for a little bit. Now no one talks about it. But anyways, most of our money's going into war now, so it's fucking done. It's just freaking dumb, bro. Anyways, on that note, let's keep it going. Let's get some Gong action going on this show, for goodness sakes. And thank you all for being here. Oh, Lord, this world is fucked up. So we're here, spinning the alphabet soup wheel and having discussions about how fucked up it is. And, like we've said, we have solutions on the way. Poison pawn. Poison pawn.
You don't really play chess, do you? We talked about that. I think you don't. You said, right?
I mean, I dabbled in it back in the day a little bit, playing like those
Well,
on the computer, where you can play solitaire and all that shit.
Right. There's a concept. Well, there is something in chess called a poison pawn. Although people debate whether it's a poisoned pawn, a poison pawn. I mean, strictly speaking, it should probably be a poisonous pawn, but I guess
Right.
I digress. But anyway, the concept is essentially that you move a pawn such that it's in a position where it's materially advantageous for your opponent to take it. Like, if they take it, it appears superficially that they will simply acquire a pawn for free, and that's good generally in chess. I mean, some people in chess will tell you that if you can take a pawn, you should always take it. But there are pawns that are known to be where taking it is a gateway to a complex or a disadvantageous position for the opponent to whom it's offered. And I feel like that's a better way. I love chess. I suck at it too. I mean, everybody sucks at it right now except for one guy. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, don't believe Biscuits either, because he'll whoop your ass.
I mean, I'm not very good at it. I play chess every day. I don't really play to get better, and so I don't get better.
You play every day?
Yeah.
Well, then you don't suck. I mean, compared to like a normal person, I guess.
I've played thousands and thousands and thousands, and I mean, I wouldn't even know how many thousands of games of chess, and I'm not very good. That's the tragedy of it. But I think that people talk about like dead man switches and things like that. And that's basically what people who generate, like, John McAfee basically tried to turn himself into a poison pawn, allegedly, such
Right.
that, like, if you take me out, then your position is going to deteriorate. And I mean, I think it's kind of important to remember that in situations like that, where people set themselves up like that, such that if they get taken out, the opponent's position deteriorates. It takes sometimes a long time, many moves before the opponent realizes that they've put themselves into a bad spot by being greedy. And it's an important strategy to remember, because we all get treated like pawns all the time,
A honeypot pawn.
Right. Sure. Anything that looks appetizing and then turns out to be regrettable, I suppose, is in the spirit of what I was trying to convey by bringing this up. But anyway, I think that it's it's an important strategy to remember because it is essentially, and this is the tragedy of it, but also why it's important, it's the best you can do as a normal citizen in the United States of America. The best you can aspire to be is if you choose to actually get into the fray with the feds and whatnot, is to be a poison pawn, which is to say, to be someone that nobody really wants to get into any sort of escalating conflict with, courtrooms or whatever. No one wants to do discovery. No one wants to do. They don't want to take the pawn. I feel like that's pretty much the best an American can do at this point, is to make themselves into an obviously poison pawn, and that's it.
I bet it goes a lot into psyops. I mean, that's the false flag. That's maybe the look over here. People invest in that while they're running a bill through that screws us over, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Does that
I
make
think
sense?
it's just, yeah, I mean, look, Congress is 535 traitors, so you can be sure.
Best comment of the night. I love it. And thank you for your support.
That's kind of funny. I only say that that's funny because he also has already called me a retard. So
yeah, did anybody else notice that he shut the fuck up about me? I was supposed to be the last piece to opening Pandora's box. I was going to be the one that brought it all down. There was an investigation, and now he doesn't mention me anymore. Funny how that works. Fucking dumbass. I wanted to get to this eventually,
I'm gonna answer this question about my ELO rating real quickly, and then we can move on. I had a USCF rating when I was a teenager, and the highest I ever got my rating up to was, I think, 1917 and 1921, something like that. And it was like I had fully dedicated myself to chess as like an all-consuming hobby for years. And I was at such a cognitive hard limit at that rating level that I didn't play chess for probably 15 years after I quit, because I only learned it when I was like 12 or 13. Well, it must have been 12 after when I hurt my leg. So it's like 12, which is too old to become amazing. Unless your brain just happens to be structured, in a very intuitive way with respect to that type of pattern recognition. But if you're going to become good at it, I mean, you basically have to start when you're like 5, and you have to have someone that's an adult that wants you to become good at it, become better than they are at it. I mean, you have to train like anything else. And I never did that when I was young enough. And chess is a game where you just have plateaus. And I think like when you hit it, you got to realize that you hit it. So, I mean, I could probably try to memorize, and that's why I don't, because I don't memorize openings or end games. If I really tried to memorize stuff again, I mean, I could probably get my rating back up, but it's usually in the 1800 range. And I only play rapid. Like, I don't ever play bullet or anything like that. I really just sandbag. I play one opening, I play crazy games, my rating gets knocked down, and then I play in tournaments and ruin people's tournaments by beating people that I shouldn't technically be beating based on my ELO and laughing at them. That's as good as chess gets for me.
And he'd probably beat everybody that's in here. But anyways, I did want to. I got, as far as the poison side of this discussion goes. Yes, I don't know about him stepping down. I think he's still rolling in there. But I saw him. I think he was on Rogan, and they were talking about how we get most of our glyphosate from China. And we put more glyphosate in our food than any other country. Other countries won't even take our food because of it. And now we are going to start producing glyphosate here in America. Why? Anyways, it's Roundup. It's basically the poison that gets into all of our food, and some of the reasons that we're sick. Some people will claim that you don't have certain allergies, that it's actually a reaction to glyphosate. I don't know. That's certain technical things.
I will assert to you 100% that people who are diagnosed. I mean, I have actually I advised a woman that I know when I learned that she suffered, she thought, from rheumatoid arthritis, or arthritis, joint inflammation, like really bad. I mean, she was taking injectables and thought that she was gluten intolerant as well. And I said, you need, she was thinking, I forget what she was thinking about her dietary things, but I said, look, you need to treat yourself like you're gluten intolerant, not because you're avoiding wheat gluten, but because you're avoiding glyphosate, because Roundup Ready wheat is harvested and the wheat is full of Roundup because it's Roundup Ready. So they spray the whole field. It sucks the Roundup with the water up into the plant, and it doesn't kill the plant.
Right.
The Roundup persists. And she started to avoid grains that would be foods that had grains which would be treated with Roundup. And she had massive improvements in the type of inflammation and pain that she was experiencing. And again, I mean, that's like anecdotal and it wouldn't classify as clinical data. But yeah, sorry, I'm in the dark. I don't have good lighting. And but that's the nature of it. I mean, I think a lot of people that consider themselves to be allergic to gluten in reality are simply sensitive to the glyphosate content in which is in wheat that's used in foods that you buy that are pre-processed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people's problems. It's all the glyphosate in people's fucking food. And
But again,
he was saying,
going gluten-free is not going to, going gluten-free is not going to fix it forever, because once they start mass producing gluten-free foods, they'll be mass producing Roundup Ready, whatever the grain that it is based on. And it won't be the wheat, it'll be the oats or the whatever, you know. It has to, you can't just keep running from it by going to smaller and smaller crops. You have to just figure out a way to remove it from the crops in the first place. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was kind of a point I wanted to make too.
well, I was gonna say is like in that interview with Joe Rogan, because even Rogan was kind of asking him like what the fuck, even though fuck Rogan, like he's military op.
Yes.
But they're having these conversations and telling you the truth to certain degrees. So I guess I don't know, like I don't know how it works. They have to tell you what's going on. But in that, the last point I wanted to talk about, just really briefly, because it was brought up, is that RFK Jr. said that at any point China could cut off them sending the glyphosate to United States, and it would fuck us overnight. Our food supply would be fucked. There now, though, is weed resistant glyphosate, or it's glyphosate resistant weeds.
Yes, there are weeds that can't be killed with glyphosate for sure.
But it's even made it worse because they've been exposed to it and now they've adapted and gotten worse. I don't know if that would be the same for insects or whatever else they're trying to kill, but there's a lot of issues going on.
Yeah, and to be clear, what he's saying there about our food supply is absolute horseshit. The only thing, I mean, yes, it would be a rough patch, to be sure, for industrial scale farms, you know, and shit like that, where everything about the food is linked to chemicals, whether it's diesel fuel or ammonium nitrate or glyphosate. It's all of the price of the food that these giant farms produce is just derivative of the price of the chemicals that they have to buy to produce it. They're not farms, you know. I mean, like these giant corporations that own millions and millions of acres of land and have, you know, giant combines and stuff that are, you know, so massive that they are literally worthless unless you have millions of acres of land that are all in the same tract. These are the organizations that will suffer, and who cares? I mean, these are treasonous organizations. This is on the wheel, but I'm just going to fucking throw it out here because we're already doing it. And if it comes up, we'll just move on. But, you know, since that Citizens United case, corporations are supposedly people in some sense or another, like some abstraction of whatever the fuck it is. And so I'm saying, I don't care what happens to these corporations. They're treasonous people. I don't give a fuck what happens to Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or fucking Monsanto or any of these things. I mean, Monsanto owns so much of the farming industry. They have become a single point of failure. I mean, yes, that's all of our problem, but it's their thing to take accountability for. And as I say, thanks to our CIAs, the only corporate accountability that exists is in the fucking money that all of these corporations and our corrupt government use against us. It's their weapon, not ours. So it's not justice whenever some fucking company has to spend a bunch of money that they only got by doing treason in the first place. Take all their money. I don't care. Cut off their supply of glyphosate. If they fucking die, if Monsanto dies, rest in piss. I got a fucking catfish pond in my backyard, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'll be eating, right? With no glyphosate.
Right. But it wasn't taken out of context. It's literally what he was saying. He was saying that we depend so much on them, all the farmers and stuff like that. But and even he admitted, RFK Jr., that the farmers hate using it, but they have to because it's.
But it's such a small piece of the pie too. Like, oh, we depend on China for glyphosate. Well, then just cut off everything that we send to China and see what the fuck happens. Keep all your glyphosate, China, right? Fill your fucking bathtubs up with glyphosate. See if we give a fuck. You know what I mean? China is a net negative food producer already. China cannot produce enough food, even with all that land, to take care of all of its people. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's crazy, man. Fuck China.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, Trump was like, the hero for the farmers in his first term, that he was talking about how he got him all this money and stuff like that, but he's not lifting regulations. He's not cutting them off from the teat of Monsanto. They're not doing any of that. Nope, they're just going to start producing more glyphosate here in America. Great idea, guys. That's going to make everybody healthy, because if you go back to the Ozempic thing, the idea was to wasn't it Maha? Make America Healthy Again that RFK Jr. was running on? And fuck that motherfucker. He's a liar, dude. He hasn't done shit.
Well, of course,
and he probably
man,
can't, but because it's not like one man can just come in there and do whatever he wants. But
no, it's not that.
Come on, man.
RFK is a fucking traitor. He always was. Do you really think they left? Do you think they killed all the Kennedys and just left the good one? I mean, get fucking real. He's the one that they left behind. He's probably the worst fucking one. I mean, who cares? Man? Fuck that guy. This is why I didn't vote in 2020. I don't vote in fake elections. And this is why I don't give a shit about any of his fucking cabinet members. They're the Ars Democratica. They're a bunch of fucking demons. Now, whether or not they're building a temple that I will appreciate and practice when it's done, or whether they're just continuing to do treason, I mean, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, RFK is a fucking joke. He sounds like he's on death's door. He was a terrible choice just for that. You know what I mean? Even if he knew anything about health whatsoever, which he doesn't. I suspect he's some fucking mook that knows jack shit about anything, just like the rest of these motherfuckers. But I'm saying, even if he did have any sort of competency in that regard, he's a terrible choice because he sounds like a monster. And I'm sorry, but I mean, the dude is supposed to be speaking in public and speaking to people about literally Americans' lives are at stake. You know what I mean? And this guy, it sounds like the bad guy from a Batman movie. I mean, geez, man, it's just such a joke.
Behind the scenes, he probably has the voice of an angel and can speak clearly.
This is the whole thing. It's just like a wrestling work.
It's just a simp, dude. He wants everybody to feel bad for him or something like that. Like people want to believe in him because he sounds like he is about ready to die whenever he talks. I don't fucking know, dude. But I don't care anymore.
They should have put him in leg braces or something.
I know. Well, that's what you're gonna get here on the season of the Gong or the Digital Dojo show. Go back to season 1. Just straight facts. It's kind of surprising, like we were saying, that we're allowed to be even on YouTube. That's kind of wild. But yeah, it could be maybe it's a voice box, and he goes back and sings like Frank Sinatra. Who freaking knows, man? And fuck Frank Sinatra. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, Frank Sinatra.
We could go on. He was yes.
Mhm.
See,
I mean,
ever
look,
tried clear?
you know,
It sounds like he's clearing his throat as he talks. That's what he's doing. He's clearing his throat. Who fucking
yeah.
knows? It is
He's
good
got a.
medicine. If anything, we can have some fun on the way out while we clown all these people.
What if he's got? What if he's got something like that? Yes, like that liar movie with Jim Carrey, where it's just his throat. His throat won't let him talk normally when he's lying, and so we don't ever
Right.
hear him normal. We don't ever hear him speak normally.
Oh man, I don't know. We're gonna get to it here in a moment. Here, the poison aspect of this we kind of leaned towards, and we were I'm stuck on like seeing like the weird Jim Carrey thing, but like really the Kelly Osbourne stuff, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff that's happening right now. That kind of shit is so crazy. I don't know. Was it 7-7 Pure where you're the one saying you miss Mike Gill, bro? He's still over on Mike Gill 44 on Rumble. Go watch him. Ask him how he's when I'm gonna get arrested because he's a fucking liar. I don't know why anybody would still be over here that cares about Mike Gill, but you can do whatever you want. I don't care. And on that note, that was specifically for you, Charlotte. You're welcome. It was time to move on in this conversation piece to the alphabet soup wheel.
Yeah, like why would he even go for that job when he sounds like that? That's another thing. Like he should have
I
known
know
better.
he's the health guy.
I mean,
Fair
what is that?
game.
Fair
Fair
game.
game.
Yeah. Well, this. I mean,
RFK Jr. is fair game.
Well, he is fair game. That's true. Everybody in that. Yeah, Carl. That happens to me on Rumble sometimes too, man. You could go on. I guess maybe you can't go on YouTube or something for some reason. I understand.
I think Rumble hates me because I'm against all their favorite people. Everybody that they promote on this fucking channel, especially Dan Bongino, that
Yeah.
fucking piece of shit. Russell Brand, all the Q-tards, Badlands Media is a fucking joke built on a theory that is so easily debunked called devolution. It's retarded. This Rumble platform, we're on multiple platforms here. I have no problem saying it because I don't even think that their algorithm's up to speed to care what I say necessarily. But they fucking hate that I exposed the Q shit. All of a sudden, it seemed like my numbers went down. Either way, whatever the purposes was,
Well,
fuck them. They probably just moved most of their attention to the people like Dan Bongino, Russell Brand, and all those assholes, and it just took away from everybody. Who
well,
fucking knows?
Rumble's AI did confirm that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, Rumble's AI is apparently pretty based, but I agree with you. The DIA traders that are so prominent on Rumble and the other apparently unaffiliated traders it's tragic. You know what I mean? It's tragic. But,
yeah,
and I feel bad.
I've been working
for people. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying I worked my ass off, and it wasn't about necessarily growing a channel, but at some point I realized that if I wanted to go up against some of these asshats, I had to grow the channel to a certain size so they couldn't just say that I was nothing. And to just barely almost be at 8,000 subs after 2.5+ years of doing content creation and now podcasting, for them to drop the numbers the way that they have and to make it basically an unsustainable. I mean, it would be Rumble will not. It's money laundering for the conservative side of things. I am so pissed off at them. We are now, I think, over 9,000 subs already on YouTube. Like,
well, I told you what the trajectory of Rumble is already evident.
it's gone
If you
down.
consider look at how lenient Rumble is with respect to copyright stuff. I mean, they're crazy lenient. You mean you can do anything you want just about on Rumble, and people are. And so a lot of the people that YouTube banned and shut down, etc., have gone to Rumble and they put all this content on there and they're pushing the boundaries and Rumble is letting it build up. All of this information is waiting for one copyright apocalypse, and it'll all just get obliterated. It'll all be gone, and that'll be it. There won't be any coming back for so much of it. And it's all of that, and then you'll just be left with whatever milquetoast, watered down shit survives on YouTube or whatever else. You know what I mean? Because that's how they do. They give you these little bubbles where it appears like you can. Where it appears like you can act as though it is sort of a constitutional republic, and you can have your freedom of speech and whatnot, long enough that they can let everybody do a lot of work, and then it's all for naught, and then your years are wasted, and people lose motivation, and they just don't bother anymore. And I think this is how they manage digital dissent over time. Yeah, well,
you go to the main page of Rumble, you'll always see the same kind of shit. I mean,
Fox, we have already locked up. We've got the domain. I mean, listen. I'm telling you, it's going to be a project. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be a full-blown entertainment ecosystem, the likes of which I'd say I don't think anybody's ever seen before. So
it's like, do people really watch the Israel-owned Timcast? I mean, that one's been exposed. He literally was busted basically taking money to pump Israel shit. And then you got Sean Hannity, who's he shit on people that were trying to tell the truth about 9/11 and so many things along the way. He's tied up in the Q shit. He was wearing the pain pin that is the symbol, one of the symbolisms for QAnon, whatever you want to call it. But you just go across this freaking thing. Some of these people I have not really heard of. I've seen this stuff popping up, but you will see the same thing. And then eventually later on this evening, Badlands will be featured. And now Alpha Warrior got promoted. So Sir Escanor, the Hopium Slayer, caught Patriot 17, I think is what he goes by on a X Space, literally saying that he got promoted to Alpha Warrior spot, and Alpha Warrior got promoted. Promoted by who? I thought you guys were independent fucking people out here. Nah, they're not. They fucking handled. Anyways, what were we going to get to with the fair game?
Well, it's a game from a game. Well, yes, from a game theory perspective is what I was saying, and I just would pose the question to people. I mean, I think you find it very challenging if you were to sit down and ask yourself if you'd ever actually had the pleasure of playing in a fair game, outside of games that you play with your family and friends and whatnot.
Right.
It's hard to think of one. I mean, an abstract type of game, I guess. But I'm trying to throw in some game theory terminology, because a lot of my, I guess, strategy and thinking is, or I leverage game theory principles, I suppose. I try to, because I think they're leveraged against us. And so it's important to try to understand these terms. Fair game is a pretty self-evident term. I mean, it's a game where the expected outcome isn't any better or worse for any of the players concerned based on the rules and structure of the game. It's important, it's critical from an entertainment perspective that any game that you play is fair. Otherwise, it's not fun, right? It's no point.
How do I quantify 5D Mind to Booma gift memberships? I'm trying to keep track of this. Thank you, Carl and Hanny, for the $5. What was it you said? $5, another $5 for the Cards of Doom Fund. You have my unwavering love, support, and admiration. We really appreciate you, Carl and Hanny.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll just figure it out, but we'll keep track of it somehow or another.
Right. Jackie. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate it so much. Sorry for yawning. Jeez.
Yeah, it didn't sound convincing. It sounded about as convincing as your AI cloned voice that I use.
Yeah, I know. I yawned in the middle of it. It really took the piss out of my whole. I appreciate it.
All right. We are doing gongs. The season of the gong. Brought to you by Alice and Silver Fox. For now, we'll see what happens with that whole saga.
And in spite of the CIA.
All of Allison's dreams seem to have come true. Oh! Queer.
Yeah. What do you think about it? So the reason that I was listening to an audiobook recently, or you know what? I started to listen to it and then I turned it off because it actually sucked.
Yes.
And I was like, maybe I'll listen to Agatha Christie. You know, the Poirot novels. You remember those? Or do you know anything about those? Like Death on the Nile.
No.
Yeah, anyway, they're like old-timey murder mystery novels. Anyway.
Okay.
So I said I'll try and read all of them. And I got the first one and I started to listen to it. And the first line in it was, "That's queer," he ejaculated under his breath. And I thought, man, language sure has changed since this book was written, right? Like the first sentence is, "That's queer," he ejaculated under his breath. And I thought, if you said that to somebody today, they would have, it would have a totally different context. You know what I mean?
I bet you triggered people just by saying it here.
Well, Agatha Christie said it, not me. I was just conveying I stopped reading. I shut the book off. How about that? I said, "Oh my word!"
You shut it off.
I shut it off because I didn't enjoy it, but it had nothing to do with that first sentence. The first sentence was the best part of the book, actually.
Well, that sentence, to be fair, especially for somebody that's just reading it by themselves at their home or wherever they're at, they read that first sentence and they have to know more. Because, I mean, how do you not want to know more? Like this is, you're either into it because, I mean, this is, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, in the modern,
it's a whole thing now. Like, it's speaking it though. Yes, in this medium is different than it being in the books, but they do this. This is like a thing now, and it is horrific. Like it's like vampires, like having sex and devouring their person. It's like a sexual thing for people. They have clubs. Like young women are like big into this. Young to middle-aged women are like into these like carnal sexual books that are, as you write them as disturbing as possible, but include sex in it. That is going on today.
Yeah, this was not sexual. This was just old timey. So she was the line translates to, "That's odd," he said quietly. I mean, that's the point of what I'm saying. It's totally banal at the time when she wrote it. It's just how people talk back then. Instead of saying, "That's odd," he said quietly, she said, "That's queer," he ejaculated under his breath. It's the same meaning. But now if you say it, immediately people think about, you know, Michelle Obama, right? Or something even more pornographic. But
Michelle Obama's what people think of with that? I hope not. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, well, you've got queer, he ejaculated. If I hear those three words, I immediately think about Michelle Obama. That's my point.
It is interesting usage of the English language for sure.
I just like to take every opportunity
was more common back then. You're saying
Michelle Obama is a dude.
That's the only reason he really put it in there, y'all. And Coley, where have you been? Did you not watch the 5D Chessman Oracular series, episode 1, with me, Biscuits, and Dean? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing that you put. You were asking what hashtag GG was, and that is our new. I mean, that's our new company, our new movement. You got to go back and watch that show, Coley. I'm telling you got to find out what it's all about. But we are raising money to create something that hopefully will not only expose truth, be fair and a legit business, and to go up against the whales. Like you see the background in Biscuits, all these bloated whales that take and take and take, and that's all they do. We want to harpoon the shit out of them and bring it back to more of we the people. Fucking bastards. But in the end, the whole purpose of this segment on the wheel was to bring it back to Big Mike.
Well, no, the real purpose was to talk about how language has been, purposely mutated and propagandized and limited since even just 100 years ago.
It's true. And I mean, they used to say the N-word and all kinds of stuff. And oh man, I can't remember names some of the shows, but some of the shows back in the day.
Like the
really
Jeffersons.
Jeffersons was, they probably had certain language that they used that would be taboo now as far as mainstream allowed.
They used the N-word on the Jeffersons.
Leave it to Beaver.
The Jeffersons is the first one that did it.
They were using the N-word like nonstop.
I don't think they were doing it nonstop. He just said it. It was
just throwing it in there like it was normal.
That was Fred Sanford. I don't remember. They all, who knows? Which is hilarious because now it's like it's 1,000 times an hour on those TV channels and stuff. Rap music is constant.
Right, rap music, but it's still saying that as a phrase that's, I don't know. Maybe I still have a little bit of innocence in me, thank goodness. But it does seem like that would be very triggering to people these days. It's just like when retard came back, and there's still people that get triggered when I keep saying it. I am not talking about chromosomes. Where retard, when I was a kid, was equal to idiot, stupid, dumb, whatever. And everything sucked. 90s kid mentality was everything sucks, and now everything's fake and gay in this world at this time. But back then, everything sucks, and we were being fed by the pedophiles at Nickelodeon. We were being fed by the pedophiles at MTV. We were being fed by the Satanism that was coming through VH1 and all these freaking sons of bitches. Leave it to Beaver, yes. I'm pretty sure that they had some stuff in there that they were saying that it was just like, you can't even get away with that now. However, all you have to do is get the game Call of Duty, which is free now. You can go on and just download Call of Duty. I'm not recommending this, but just put on your headset, get into a room with young kids that aren't even teenagers yet, and just be in one of those rooms, and you will hear the most foul language that exists in the human lexicon today.
I mean,
kids playing their Xbox and thinking that their parents aren't around are saying the worst crap that you can imagine online 24/7. 24/7 that's happening.
I'll be honest with you. The cursing that young kids do these days is not the worst part of the language. Like, the rest of what they try to say is the shit that makes me sad, because at least I can understand the fucking curse words. The rest of the shit that they talk about is meaningless drivel. I mean, it's not even a language for the most part. It's tragic, Like, these people will just be grunting at each other in a couple more decades.
All right, what else you got on that?
I got nothing. I guess we're get no videos tonight instead.
We almost got one that time, though, man. Don't lose the faith.
Yeah, and then we didn't. That was queer.
That was really queer.
Let's just bring that back as odd. Let's just start using that word as odd.
We should start using it all the time, and let's see how much hate we get. Maybe our numbers will still go up. Blockchain, baby!
Blockchain.
What do you want to talk about here? It's a very significant thing, both positive and negative. Mostly negative the way they're trying to roll it out. They, as in the satanic pedophile rulers.
Yeah.
You just believe in that Pizzagate stuff. Did you see some of the, and I don't want to veer away from the blockchain talk, but did you see some of the, I don't know what you'd call it, I guess, questioning of Bill and Hillary Clinton?
No, of course not. That's a farce.
Right.
Bill and Hillary Clinton
was interesting.
Bill and Hillary Clinton have no right to exist, let alone be questioned anymore. Everything that they do, other than drop a couple feet and dance until they're dead, is a slap in the face of the Constitution of the United States of America. So no, I don't watch Bill and Hillary Clinton. It's a farce. And I don't even think that's them. I mean, my God, like, how do they get younger and older and shorter and taller every time I see them? I mean, it's just absurd, man. So no, I didn't watch any of that. I tell you what I did see though. You know, we were talking about Shia LaBeouf on Saturday. Did you see where he was like, he was kind of speaking positively about Trump, and he started crying about Jesus? Like, I don't know. He said he got, you know, he basically said, hey, I don't like to be around gay dudes because I got raped when I was a kid by gay dudes, and I love Jesus, and Trump isn't all that bad. He didn't end up dividing us like I thought he would, or something. I mean, he was crazy.
That is weird, man.
It was like this. It was like it was just a day or two after we were talking about him, and I said I felt bad about everything.
Well, he literally
that was
just got. It's like he was like he was losing his mind again or something like that, which probably just means that he needed to go back in for rehab or programming, and probably got reprogrammed to where they want him now, which maybe they're using him to try to. I mean, he's allegedly gave himself to the Catholic faith, and then now he's losing his mind a little bit, getting in trouble with the law. But now he's like, some people think he's method acting and preparing for a role. It's like he got if he admitted that, then he's admitting like a lot of people like the Disney kids and stuff like that have come out, and all the people that expose stuff on the Imagination podcast talking about how they've been raped. Like when is like. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I don't know how much more can come out before something actually gets done. Like, I'm telling you, man, these people that are, especially the ones that are or more reachable, the alternative media talking heads that are talking bullshit and all this kind of stuff, and running cover now for all this horse shit still go on, and these people not to be arrested, man, they shouldn't be able to walk down the street. When Q said that, regardless of what you think, whatever the heck the purposes was, when they probably meant the elite or whatever, whatever grifter was posting that shit. I think of it as these fucking clowns that are nobodies that are given too much attention on places like Rumble and all this shit.
anyone that's gotten famous and somehow avoided the topic of treason, child trafficking, and all of this shit for however many years, is, as far as I'm concerned, they should be afraid to walk down the street. I mean, that would be the appropriate response of the country, you know. So I mean, like, and that's the thing, like, none of these people since 2020, including Dan Bongino, just state the fucking obvious, that none of the treason has been remedied. Nothing has been done, ergo it's still a treasonous coup. Everyone that's getting paid by the federal government, even if they're not doing treason actively, is part of a treasonous coup, not a constitutional republic. It can't exist. If treason is allowed, then the government isn't real. And there's no, the two things are just mutually exclusive. Treason's legal, the Constitution is not real, or it's not law anyway.
I want to celebrate this though. That is awesome, Valerie.
Oh,
that's what I
oh.
got for you. A little
I didn't know that we had. I didn't know we had a fanfare on deck like that.
That's awesome. Picking up a 30 days when you're first starting out. One day is really tough. 1 week feels like forever, and then 30 days is like a miracle. I mean, it's literally a miracle in the world of addiction. So congratulations and Godspeed, man. It's a battle, but it can be done. So blockchain.
Oh yeah, I guess we should get back to that. Well,
right.
People think that, you know, I mean, everything, I guess people perceive kind of everything as evil, but blockchain technology, I mean, insofar as you accept that the encryption is secure, I mean, that's a question in and of itself, but I'm saying hypothetically, let's just accept that it's secure enough to be secure indefinitely. People kind of vilify cryptocurrencies. They say, oh, they use that for money laundering. Well, I mean, like, everything gets used for money laundering, and crypto is the blockchain. It's it's intrinsically like the stupidest thing you can launder money with. I mean, it is the opposite of what you should be using in order to launder money, except that it makes it quick and seemingly easy. But I mean, it's the cash is good for laundering money because there's no provenance to cash. The blockchain is all provenance. I mean, and people will say to you, oh, well, you know, you get the privacy tokens like Monero. And I'm just saying, I'm not going to, I mean, Monero, I don't know, you know, I'm no expert, but I was pretty into the cryptocurrency markets, which weren't really even markets sort of at this time, I guess. I mean, there were centralized exchanges, but they were pretty risky for like shitcoins and things. It was technically more challenging to even trade cryptocurrencies in the 2015, 2016, 2017. But Monero is the privacy token on the blockchain. That's what people say to you, because it is inscrutable to other people that are using Monero. It's inscrutable to other people that are just using cryptocurrency. But when Monero was created, I looked at it, and again, I mean, I'm not a programming whiz to the point where I can audit smart contracts and stuff like that. But the encryption algorithm for Monero is an elliptic curve algorithm where 2 points on the elliptic curve are chosen, and those 2 points are used as the seed, what is intended to be random seeds for the encryption algorithm. But I mean, what I understood whenever that cryptocurrency was getting made, and this is the thing that about the blockchain that has to be mitigated if you want to try and utilize it, is that in the beginning, when that coin was created, when the contract was written, I don't think they could have made it absolutely random. They could have made the selection of those P1 and P2 points on the elliptic curve and within that algorithm random, but I don't think that they did. They seeded them in a weird, the RNG, or the random selection of those 2 points, is seeded in a strange way. And people asserted at the time that it was done in this way because of a concurrent $10 million investment from an organization that was affiliated with some from a person that was affiliated with some intelligence organization. So there is no such thing as a privacy cryptocurrency. There is no such thing as a privacy token in the sense that you can take cash, turn it into a cryptocurrency, and somehow add privacy and then turn it back into cash, or turn it into action by utilizing the crypto itself to motivate some external resource to do something. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Everything that is on the blockchain is only invisible as long as you don't have the technology and the capability to effectively search it, because the amount of data, the amount of transactional data is overwhelming. And people will talk about Bitcoin tumblers and things like this, where you send a certain amount of Bitcoin through a web of incredibly complex but predetermined, essentially, transactions through a network of controlled wallets, so that by the time the money gets where it's going, it's all gone into a million pieces through thousands of different transactions before it coalesces back. And they will consider it to be laundered. But it's only laundered if someone doesn't have the capability to track it, because everything is recorded. Everything is on the public record. You can go and explore the blockchain forever. Now, you could spend your whole life clicking through it and never get through a tiny fraction of them. But that's not how investigations and auditing, when it comes to money laundering or criminal activity, would ever go. It's nobody's clicking through them. It is computers with the same types of processing power as the ones that are mining it, which are digging also through those transactions in order to determine which wallets belong to whom and which web of transactions are doing what. So the fact that they advertise that cryptocurrency is being used to launder money is the most hilarious thing, that the blockchain is being used to launder money, because it's quite the opposite. If you're going to use the blockchain, you must go into it knowing that everything that you do is going to be completely and utterly transparent to the people that have the most power and control. So
Right.
maybe your neighbor won't be able to dig into your business if you put it into a cryptocurrency, but the NSA absolutely will know everything. 100% of your goings on. And people, like what I'm telling you, every drug deal, every cryptocurrency transaction, every one of them is an open book. If you have made cryptocurrency transactions, then then they haven't mattered. No one has come kicked down your door. No one has fucking dragged you to some black site or something like that. It's because whatever crime you're doing, whatever money laundering you're doing, doesn't matter to the people that could come and kick down your door in the middle of the night, inject you with some drug, put a bag over your head, and ship you off to a place where no one knows about and you'll never be heard from again. The same people that can do that to you, that have the infrastructure in place and are entitled to do it by the government of this country, are the ones that know everything that has gone on the blockchain, so to speak. It is the most transparent, not the most obscure.
Right. They're going to have more control over knowing exactly how we move energy in the form of currency. But
well, I'm not saying they're going to have more control. I'm saying,
how would they not have more control? They know every fucking thing that you do.
But I'm saying that doesn't necessarily equate to control. I'm just saying, and they don't even necessarily want to look. They have to go and look. I mean, it's going to be an overwhelming amount of transactional data that's being processed all the time. I'm saying if someone at that level has the inclination to go and look at what you've done on the blockchain, your efforts to anonymize yourself or whatever are going to be meaningless. I mean, you can go in, make a quick transaction, and then sort of burn everything, and there's utility there. But that type of utility is costly, and it takes infrastructure, and you're going to be going through cell phones, and who knows even if that even works. I mean, I don't even necessarily know that works if you really are getting surveilled by the most complex infrastructures that we have. I think it's basically impossible to avoid surveillance. So I think that people view the whole blockchain thing as like this very evil thing because it can be utilized by organizations that probably have evil intent and things like that. But that's true of everything. I mean, it's the same as the argument about guns. Like people say like we should make all guns illegal and get rid of them and don't, but not everybody agrees, and I don't think that it's a logically sound argument. It's out there. Guns are out there. There's more guns in the United States than there are people, and you ain't going to get rid of guns by saying this or that or writing this or that on a sheet of paper, any more than you are going to get rid of blockchain. And blockchain has some functionalities that I think are just simply not tapped into. Or if they are tapped into, they're done so in a way where you don't hear about it. And there are probably people out there doing what we're going to try to do and just doing something excellent that none of us are really aware of yet because we just haven't come into contact with it. Because what's going to be true of a lot of people in this country in just a couple months from now with respect to like these little cards that we're doing is that some people are going to know about them and a lot of people aren't, and we're going to be doing something that's excellent and cool and we're passionate about, and it's going to lead to other things, but not everybody is going to know about it. But we're going to do it very well, and we're going to execute it in a way that is impressive, and if people could see it, I think they would say, wow, that's cool. And I say about blockchain the same type of thing. People are doing things with blockchain that are impressive, but they've just not been showcased for the right reasons, or for some reason they haven't been showcased. It's a tool, and like everything, there's sharp edges that cut both ways. But I think people should try to be more pragmatic in their assessments of of the stuff that's going on around us, and the tools that are being used against us, to at least say, is there an ethical way that I can use these tools? And if not, then by all means, eschew the utilization of them entirely. But if so, maybe, I don't know, it's worth considering.
Yeah, a lot of that conversation is super boring, I'm not gonna lie. But the truth behind what you were just talking about is important to what we're doing. However, I'm bored out of my fucking mind listening to it, I'm not gonna lie. What do you mean? You got to figure it out, Valerie. If you do like, say, like you do like a donation on any of the platforms, and you put hashtag GG, it goes into this thing that we're working on that you will learn if you watch the Oracular series. And some of the stuff that we're working on with these trader cards, and then it moves on to another level. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways. There's stuff about blockchain that I could talk about that I would enjoy more, but the technical aspects of it, dude, I can't get. It's so fucking boring, dude.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I just think it's an interesting, it's an interesting technology, and there are a lot of interesting technologies which we don't really have access to. We can't utilize. But blockchain is one that we can, and so. I don't know. I mean, certainly it could be a poison pawn in that sense, like we're supposed to utilize it, and then they'll rug pull the whole thing, because I mean you have to accept. I mean, I think the total market capitalization of cryptocurrency, which I guess is the blockchain, if you will, was something like $5 trillion last year, which I guess if you think back to September 10th of 2001. $2.3 trillion disappeared in the blink of an eye. And with inflation, $5 trillion disappearing in the blink of an eye would basically be the same type of occurrence. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that the entire cryptocurrency market just goes to zero overnight, But I don't necessarily think that that's going to, I mean, like Bitcoin, I think will eventually go to zero, because it really doesn't have a utility except as a gateway and sort of holding pin for people who wish to utilize the rest of the blockchain. It's a transitional thing into cryptocurrency, but that utility will disappear over time because it just won't be necessary anymore. And when Bitcoin does go to zero, I think it'll be better for the whole blockchain market in general. Although I expect it'll probably go to like 400K before it goes to zero, but I don't own any Bitcoin for other reasons. So I'm saying that I'm not a financial advisor. I just think Bitcoin is probably going to hit 400K and then zero, because it is at this point, I think, institutionally compromised.
Some think it will hit 1 million before it does that.
Oh yeah, well,
but maybe that's what they want people to think, so that you keep
people say that
at the high levels.
But I'm not certain that I would believe them. I'm saying I think Bitcoin's going to hit 400,000. I don't have any Bitcoin for other reasons.
Oh shit!
I don't trust Bitcoin, and I don't think that it's actually a real asset.
Genealogy. Oh, this is I don't know where you're going with this, but it's like one of my mom's favorite things. It's one of my mom's favorite things.
So
thank you for everybody
yours?
that's just showed up. I learn about it to the point where
You're sick of hearing about yours?
My mom will talk about people that I'm like, okay, so who the fuck are we talking about now? Talking about like I know what we're talking about, and it's just like it's interesting, and some of the stuff is just like damn, but it doesn't.
In what sense? I mean, I'm interested. I was going to talk about it in the strictest, in the totally superficial sense, like of people look into their genealogies, and I think it's interesting how people relate to them. I mean, like the elites, so to speak, find it I mean, they worship their own bloodlines. That's the whole point, right? But I talk about elites, and the bloodlines and so on, as though they're sort of enemies. And in reality, like, we all are related if you go far enough back. And so, and I hesitate to even look. I'll just say it. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not into it. I don't really care about genealogy, but people in my family are into it. And
Yeah, my mom loves it.
yeah, I mean, so when I say we're like all related, I will say that, my bloodline, I guess, traces all the way back to Charlemagne, allegedly, through Herbert the Fourth and what the fuck, I forget the other guy's name, but his male sons or whatever. One of his male sons, of which he only had two that had kids. So, and through the Carolingian Empire to the Carolinas of the United States, and I don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, it's interesting or whatever, but I don't find that whole bloodline to be anything remarkable, because it is tainted. So that's not, the genealogy of people is not the important thing. And people that worship, the ethos of worshiping your own genealogy like that, not like being proud of it or necessarily looking into it or appreciating it or honoring it. I'm saying worshiping it for the components that you presume are better than the other people around you. This is why people, the elites, have astroturfed that term, because they want it out there that
You're gonna piss her off so bad, Carl. Bad move, and I'm highlighting it right here. Blood pressure of Heather just went.
that was cold. Put him on blast like that.
Oh man, Carl, yeah. I'm making sure she saw it. Carl wants her to see it. He thinks it's funny. He's across the pond. He doesn't have to worry about nothing. But that's pretty.
Yeah, April. I think. Well, that's Charlemagne's empire was the Carolingian Empire, which supplanted the Merovingian Empire. Charlemagne, people from the Carolinas are largely can trace them. If you're old Carolinas, North Carolina or South Carolina, a lot of people can trace themselves back to Charlemagne, which is what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, April, do you? I'm not proud of any of the Nephilim concentration that's in my blood, and I lament any probably of the sort of genetic composition that it's had. I consider it to be a taint, not a treasure. And that, I think, is the sort of fundamental ethos difference. But in practice, I think being related to people like that entitles me to take heads, like these people do, right? Isn't that all it takes? If you've got the right bloodlines, like Alec Baldwin he can murder with impunity on camera, because he's got the right bloodline. So, I mean, is that all you need to do, is just have some sort of pedigree where you can go around and you're entitled to do whatever you want? Where do I look into that?
I don't know. I think Heather's not here right now, so it'll be interesting, because when she finds out that you said that, Carl, then we're all gonna know. We're all gonna hear her response.
Well,
I don't care if this broadcast is over. It's not gonna matter if this broadcast is over. You're gonna know that Heather knows that you said that.
Yeah, but you gotta consider the source. I mean, he's got an entire ocean of safety between. He just gets to
Exactly. That's why it's safest for him to see it.
Uh-oh. It's on now.
Oh man. But I mean, as far as genealogy goes, I think it's just I mean, and some of it's like kind of interesting, like my mom will talk about people that I wouldn't have known about, but it's like you're only here because of certain things that happen between certain people, obviously. And I mean, all glory to God. God made it happen one way or the other, but the actual circumstances that brought us here, you can trace that back and see the people that, had kids and got married or got divorced or went on a rampage and freaking had cats, babies, whatever the heck the story is. You hear those stories, and some of them might be interesting that are a little bit closer to you or whatnot. But then you find out some of the people that you're like related to, because I think we're related to some degree to the Hatfields, if you've heard the Hatfields versus McCoy story. So it gets
Well, as I
some
said,
of that stuff gets interesting.
King Herbert IV is related to the Bushes, right? Herbert Walker. I mean, this is the same line. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like,
she's here! She's here! Charlotte, you're just kissing butt. You're just kissing butt, so you stay out of it. Check your DM, Carl. Tell us what she said, bro. You gotta tell us. You're so fucked. It's like gonna be like it's like it's gonna be one of those that self-destructs in five seconds, and it's also self-destructs your device. So we're all related, so I put two and two together. Oh man, that was witty though. Now you got her. Oh, we're just having a little bit of fun. Let's have a little fun at Hope Girl's expense. That crazy biatch is she's got me pegged as the #1 facilitator of the Sabrina Wallace cult. So I'm just moving up in the world in all areas. Biscuits, if you didn't know.
yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you're related to the Hatfields. I'm related to Charlemagne. I mean, we're I guess we're entitled to just take over the whole country at this point, you know.
Right.
Probably,
you don't hear about the Russell aspect of the bloodline families as much, but that is my last name. I don't know anybody that would be connected to something. I mean, maybe that's the point. They're really good at fucking acting like everything's not. But I really wouldn't know anybody that would have even the means that would be considered part of, like, I don't know. I think it was more back in the day. I think the Russell bloodline, if you will, that was part of that whole forming of a lot of the secret society stuff, if I remember correctly, had to do some stuff with Skull and Bones and some of the Mormonism coming into play. That goes back some time.
yeah, I think there was some pretty prominent Freemasons in my family, like 3-4 generations back. But I mean, you know, what can you do? Like, they're certainly not in my parents' generation. There was none, and nor my grandparents, as far as I know. So,
yeah.
But anyway, like, I didn't have any choice about it. You know, I'm stuck here against my will, and I wouldn't say I've had it very rough, but still, this place seems like a prison. This whole planet. So.
Yep. It feels like a prison to me. That is some of the question. It's whether or not we have our free will. I think when I did that interview with Solana, if you're still here. Oh, Solana's still here. Yeah, she was saying our whole free will has been hijacked, and God knows that, and grace and all that kind of stuff. But how much free will do we really have? Really, you could do hours of a podcast trying to discuss what was real about that. You there?
You got to update Allison to call me up. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of like went robot mode out of it on me for a second.
I got used to buttery bloodline bastard at this point, I guess. I did
like
the buttery bastard, but no, that's good. That was probably the most. That was my favorite part of it, to be honest.
Buttery bastard. It worked so good. It just came to me in the moment.
If you figure that out, Sean, let me know. Email me the procedure if you figure out how to do
that. Manifest free weed. Oh man, non-GMO weed.
Yeah, I think we should. All right. We got to do an executive decision and just roll the gong wheel a couple times. You know.
You want to roll the video wheel?
Yeah. We have total control. Long Gong production.
Allison isn't looking, is she? Okay, good. She's not peering around no corners or nothing like that. We don't want to get in trouble, right? Actually, I think you got that. From all signs, it sounds like you got that shit locked down. Anyways, okay, so let's move on. So you guys remember the Wheel of 4 chins? How many chins was it? It was 4 chins. But this is the Gong event wheel. And this is like the Wheel of Fortunes in the sense that it has the videos, and then we discuss them. So we're going to spin the shit out of this a couple times and see what we land on. Let's have some fun. There's the burnt biscuit. Don't forget that. Oh, Biscuits loves 4chan.
Well, this is a post that was on 4chan in 2019. I mean, I've got a lot of posts like this where I just screenshotted threads I was in or whatever. But see if this link works. I hosted this picture somewhere. Hopefully it's still there.
Boom, got it.
I can't really read it, so you might have to. Or I can open it up and you guys can read it.
I can make it bigger, I think.
Yeah, make it a little bigger.
Okay.
So scroll. There you go. So this is September 5th, 2019. It will originate from a pharmaceutical company working with military operations in a West Coast state. It will be accurately planted in major cities, and it will cause flu-like symptoms and may be deadly to elders and babies, but the media will report it as deadly for everyone, but it's a hoax. The vaccine will be the real killer, packed with copious amounts of toxic metals, etc. Do not accept any vaccines that will be released for a deadly virus in the winter of 2020. I do not know any details on the genetics of the virus, sorry, but I know that they have tested it in multiple times already, but under different brand names.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Did you grab this back at the time?
Yes.
Damn,
I was in,
bro.
yes, in the thread.
Check. So look, pay attention to what is being, I mean, we know they plan things. A lot of the, say, like, people that were in the Q PSYOP at that point, regardless of what was happening in the beginning of Q at that point, it was a complete PSYOP. And a lot of people will argue that the deep state, the globalists, threw COVID at Trump to derail what he was doing. But there, even on 4chan, the discussion seemed to be pretty spot on by somebody anonymously telling people this was coming.
Yeah, well, 4chan was used, the poll board on 4chan since at least like 2015 was, I mean, there's instances where it's demonstrable that military intelligence people were using it to communicate encoded directives, essentially, to, cells of operatives or whatever. I mean, there was a Red Skull program that was doing this, and probably, I think it stopped after 4chan got hacked. The Red Skull and Little Tay program that was posting constantly, but I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was just, sort of one-time pad communications or whatever, encrypted communications within text that posts that were otherwise, seemingly sort of on brand for 4chan, because everything was constantly barraged with shills and bots and things like that. So it was just good cover for all the operations that were going on. So if you read everything in 4chan and if you could just throw away all the bullshit, meaning if you were like super conservative about what you even considered was possibly true and disregarded everything else, even if it seemed interesting or compelling, and just only looked for things that, I don't know, you would just develop a sense for it after lurking on that website for years and years. And so post threads that were going to have shit like that in them, threads that were posted by somebody that was real and was just like, yo, check this out, I'm dropping this here and then I'm leaving for whatever reason, became pretty obvious. And so people were you can't really use this word because we're on YouTube, but fuck it. If you were on 4chan for a long time, you were referred to as an old fag, and if you were seemingly not there for very long, you were a new fag. So old fags got to the point where they could see through the bullshit pretty easily, or at least pretty effectively. And you can also run, you can filter threads and get to the point where you don't really see a lot of the bullshit because you've figured out a way to kind of just automatically prune it from what you see. So instead of 15 pages of threads, you would only end up with maybe 2 that didn't get filtered by, whatever scripts and stuff you were running. Correct, just a bunch of sticks. the point of what I'm saying is that, and I mean, there's a lot more, bro, of posts like that were so timely that, you know, it's like weird. But anyway, yeah.
Strange
So
that
that,
they, you know, don't. I mean, I guess they don't want. They didn't need to be political, but that's the thing that drives me nuts about some of this stuff, where it's just like if it was like a military operation to better the world, and that Trump was even a part of it, even if he had tried to be a part of it or something like that, would you not include that, like that Trump is in on it, or like that Trump will be the one that releases it? Or, I mean, obviously he was in office at the time, even when that post was made, so that would have been clear, I guess, that he was in charge. But that's
well, I mean, according,
some
you
of
know,
the
that
stuff that
guy,
gets
that
difficult.
was not an American. Okay. According to the flag, I mean, the IP address from which that was posted was not an American.
Sure.
It was European. So Trump might not have been the most important thing on their mind at that time anyway.
Man, 2019 though, Trump was like the biggest fucking thing. You either really fucking hated him or you thought he was fucking fighting the whole system. It felt like, if you even give a shit, like most people, like a lot of people that obviously just never give a shit. Like that was me before Trump, and then Trump pulled me into this bullshit, and now it's like I'm probably be like some of you guys that don't ever vote. It's just like participating in the satanic ritual where it's fucking fake and gay, or it's, as they
Yeah. I
say
mean,
now,
well,
or as we say now, queer.
Trump had already let me down by 2019, you know. I was wanting to see Hillary Clinton publicly executed for treason and murder, among other things, in 2017. So,
Right. Oh man, but that's the word, is that people already knew that it was going to happen, and it's been planned out, that it was already created in 2014 or 2015 or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of stories, but like Chapel Hill,
well, yeah,
North Carolina.
the PCR test was patented in 2014
Right.
by, you know, some Rothschild, uh, something or another. And so I mean, it stands to reason that the virus had already been developed prior to that. And that vaccine, I mean, people say, oh, Operation Warp Speed, you know, like it was so fast, but whatever the virus is, or whatever the target protein of the mRNA, has nothing to do with how fast that mRNA technology was developed. It was already developed, and it didn't have to be developed specifically for COVID. COVID was developed specifically to have a surface protein that would function with the mRNA protein printing, or I guess, you know, with the production process of the mRNA such that you can match a target protein. So the mRNA technology was developed, I think, probably concurrently a little bit, but I think the mRNA was the primary goal. They developed the mRNA technology, they developed the PCR, the assay, the test, and they then developed a virus, COVID, that met the specifications of both providing the ability, by virtue of adjusting the cycle rate of the PCR assay, you can adjust the number of false positives that are returned. It's directly correlated. And a virus that also provided the ability to easily manufacture, with the process that they had, something that could,
Shit, I can't
you
hear
know,
you, bro. Can you hear me?
yes. Can you hear me now?
You guys might be able
Can you
to
hear?
hear, but yeah.
Can you hear me?
Surprisingly
No.
enough, I just got a call from John Q. Simeon,
Oh,
who is the
hey,
guy
John.
that introduced Biscuits and I. You guys probably all heard Biscuits. Sorry to interrupt, but when the call came in, my audio went completely silent, so I have no idea what you're saying.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I was saying that I think that the PCR assay and the mRNA production process to produce an mRNA, you know, vaccine that targets a specific protein were both developed, and then a virus was developed to meet certain needs in conjunction with those two products. Firstly, that in conjunction with that PCR test, it had to be able to increase or decrease the number of false positives by changing the cycle rate of the assay. And secondly, it had to function with the mRNA production process by having a surface protein that was easily copyable, essentially, and printed onto the RNA, or encoded into the RNA. So I think that COVID was developed to meet the needs of those other two products in order to, in general, give them the ability to manufacture the narrative of a deadly pandemic that was spreading by generating false positives, by forcing people to take tests. And then, 2 years after they started, 3 years after they started forcing people to take the test, or 2 years when they wanted to say, oh, the numbers are going down because of the vaccine, they changed the method. The FDA issued Pfizer, I guess, issued a change to being effective on the cycle rate of the assay, and the FDA and the Department of Health and Human Services sent it out to all healthcare providers and the CDC. Yes. So what they did was basically, in the first portion of the pandemic, before they gave everybody the so-called vaccine, they were using a much higher cycle rate, and that's providing false positives and generating a pandemic of data. And then when they started giving people the vaccine, which doesn't do anything, and in fact causes real positive results, they issued a statement and changed the method, the laboratory method for the assay, cut the cycle rate in half, and all of a sudden you get less positives, and they can then manufacture a narrative that the vaccine is working. I mean, that's how I saw it play out strategically. And so, all the motivations and all the other machinations that occurred to extract money or power or, whatever, I don't know. But I'm saying that's how it played out, I think, from a regulatory and a pharmaceutical perspective. This is probably the last gong. Let's roll.
Yeah, let's do this one. This will be the last one, everybody. See what we get.
Yeah. So you just wonder like who they're advertising to when you see something like this. That's all I got to say about this one.
Okay. All right, gotta make sure the volume's on. I hate when it does that. It starts without the volume. I get it. All right, this is America's new autonomous fighter jet.
America just released a fighter jet that can fly without a pilot, without a runway, and even without GPS. It's called the X-Bat, built by Shield AI. This isn't a drone, it's a fully autonomous fighter jet designed to launch vertically from ships or remote islands, carrying out missions on its own. Experts say this could change air combat forever, because whoever masters autonomy wins the skies. And right now, the US just took a massive lead. Subscribe, because this is the future of warfare unfolding right now.
Yay. That's
who are
fun.
they? So who are they advertising to? I mean, what?
I know, it was almost like they were telling people to get excited because America has a lead on the autonomous fighter jets.
Right. It's gotta be like the worst commercial I've ever seen in my life. I don't know who the customer is. I hate the manufacturer. I hate the product. I hate the guy that was talking. Everything about that is the worst thing basically I've ever seen.
Did you I mean, it looks completely legit. Do you think that this is an AI or something, is it?
I don't know.
I feel like
It could be.
I saw Sabrina even covering something regarding this in one of her more teaching like videos.
Let's look it up. What's the name of the thing? X-Bat. I think I looked it up to confirm, actually.
America just revealed a new kind of air weapon, the X-Bat. built
No,
by
it's a
Shield
real, yeah, it's a real
AI.
company. I looked it up.
Yep.
I've already been to the
Yep.
website, so
Damn, dude.
it's kind of a. Are you at the? Yeah, go on the website, check it out. Go to.
Is there a link to the website? Learn more.
I'll put it in the. I'll put it in the.
Whoa. Yeah, show me the link to that in the private chat. This is the shit that fucking scares the
This straight up
shit out of
like
me.
Terminator, Skynet type shit, you know?
Yeah, dude, and it's like whoever wins the autonomous war is victor, and no, no, we don't want
Yeah,
this
right.
fucking this kind of
The-
autonomy.
I think the only people that win the autonomous war are the robots, right? I mean,
Right,
it's
this
better to
is
just
fucking
not
headed
have the
towards
autonomous
Terminator.
war.
Look at the way that they have this fucking out here. It's just, oh my God, dude. And this is their fucking website. This is just their website that plays over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, for a movie, awesome. Real life, fuck off. Fuck right the fuck off. Hive mind? What the fuck, man? Everything. Autonomy. Like, that's the whole thing. I mean, we got autonomous vehicles and all that kind of shit coming in, but that's the worry. So connecting a little bit back to some of the worries with like the blockchain is that we are going to be the blockchain. We are going to be on a hive mind where we are nodes on their network that they can manipulate and control and monitor. I'm not trying to make blockchain sound all bad because there might be some benefits if we were to utilize it correctly, but this is scary shit.
Listen, I'm not going to make any commitment, okay? And I haven't done my due diligence, but I've just had an idea for a product, and I will say that when we get GG to $1 billion valuation, we will, in earnest, invest $17 million into the development of a fully autonomous gallows. I don't know how it's going to get around. I don't know how it will do its tracking and targeting, etc. I mean, this will be a complex project, a lot of ins and outs, but we will legitimately attempt to develop an automated gallows, at least at a laboratory scale, you know, where we have little traders around and it'll stalk them and then pounce.
Immediately as once the treason is committed, it will go to the location, bring them out into the public square for public execution, and execute, clean up the mess,
fully autonomous.
preserve the DNA to prove that it was them.
Right.
Videotape the whole thing so it's recorded and documented for everybody's public view, because that's the thing, man. If you don't arrest somebody,
it'll run their pockets too every time in order to fund itself, so it's fully self-sustaining. You know,
right? It just immediately wipes their fucking blockchain money, their fucking crypto at that point. It just takes everything from them.
Their physical pockets too, literally.
And their physical pockets, turn them upside down and get the change out of them. All their gold coins and stuff they're walking around with because they're high rollers.
Right. And we could even build in advanced functionalities like, you know, short-term blackmail and extortion in order to extract maximum from them before then. You know, listen, I don't want to. This idea could go places. I mean, if they can advertise on YouTube autonomous fighter jets, you know, for some future autonomous war that I don't even want to have, you know, but I guess it's apparently coming. Yeah.
We're in it, man. We have 6 military that have died, and then after the strike, Epic Fury is what Pete Hegseth, I guess, called it, and he changed his name to the Secretary of War, and now there's no longer a Secretary of Defense; it's a Secretary of War. You know, Trump, the guy that was going to come in and bring peace and end all the wars in 24 hours, or end at least the Ukraine-Russia war in 24 hours. Yeah, that's gone really well. And now he strikes, and then they hit some freaking place that killed women and children, I believe. It's disgusting. And then Trump even came out and said, unfortunately, there's going to be more. So prepare for more U.S. casualties, and probably casualties of innocence. Like, these people are gonna be, they're savage in the way that they approach some of these things.
Let me just I'll give you my take on the whole Iran thing, which is probably going to be a little bit different. hang on. Let me see what's going on with my cat. Come on, bud. What's your problem?
I think you and Sam need to have discussions about your cats. I think you both have cat issues.
This cat is particularly problematic. He's a bit of a troll.
Well, so is Sam's in different ways, I think, though.
But I mean, I love him. What can I say? So the thing about Iran is that for the last, I don't know, like 50 years,
that's true. That's what they said. I mean, they did bring coffins back, and I would assume that there's families mourning, but who freaking knows? I mean, you can make arguments all day long that no one's fucking dying. And that's what a lot of people like Derek Johnson probably saying. It's beautiful optics. Would it just be freaking kids getting their faces ripped off by fucking shrapnel and shit on video? And he'll just say, oh, it's just AI. They just want to wake up the normies. Who the fuck is waking up watching war, even thinking that war is going on? 70-some%. I don't know who freaking takes these polls, but at least the majority of people in America don't want to engage in these fucking wars. That's the truth. That seems pretty accurate. I don't know if it's true. I don't know what is true.
All right. Take it easy. Let me ask you this way. We agree that there's people around the world that need to be killed.
A lot of them, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So going around the world, well, hold on. Let me finish, please.
Well, I want to say who I would think a little bit more, so like I don't just want to say that I want people killed. I want people in places of power.
This is a thought experiment. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm saying we have to move.
And we're just trying to be clear.
I'm being as clear as possible. That's the point of this exercise.
I'm trying to be clear so that I don't get cut off, so that it sounds like I just want people to die.
But I do want people to die. There are certain people that are a debt is owed, and there is no way forward without it. So I'm being unequivocal about that. And I'm saying for 47 years, Iran has been run by the CIA, who are traitors to the United States and to humanity. And so to immediately dismiss any military action in a place like Iran is, I think, that's not fair. I don't know if what's going on right now is just the more neocon, Middle Eastern, same old. I don't know. I can't tell. But what I can tell you is that if portions of the Iranian government were blown up, now there are innocent people in Iran, and I don't wish anything bad on anybody who isn't a part of, the problem, so to speak. But anybody in the Iranian government is compromised. The Iranian government entirely compromised. I don't care if the entirety of the Iranian government is killed. I do not care. Good. Rest in peace. That's what I say. And I say that even because not only are they compromised, are they traitors to Iran, and are they associated with traitors to the United States and with traitors to many other countries, they're also incompetent. For 47 years, they've been 2 months away from making a nuclear bomb. For 47 years. I mean, they should be destroyed just based on that, because they've been rattling the saber for 47 years. But that's not the Iranian people. That's the CIA, and that's Mossad. So, I mean, to hear that, like, Israel and the United States are going to war with Iran, I don't like to hear the United States doing anything with Israel, but it doesn't necessarily mean that whatever happened wasn't justified. That's my opinion about it anyway.
Look, this is just what they tell the public, and that's
we don't know anything. I mean, it's all meant to do crazy things,
because there's always war. This is what seems to be the beginnings of potentially World War III. Now, if they were to do it in a way where they made it look like they freed the Iranian people to take back control of their government, clandestine groups are going to go in there, Mossad, whatever, and they're going to install who they want, and it's going to be another shit show. It'll always be that fucking way. From everything that we've seen from history, it's always corrupt people that are allowed to be put into charge, that are going to be controlled by higher powers, especially Israel, or however they want it for their holy wars and stuff like that. But this could kick off something even worse, because Iran is part of freaking BRICS, part of relations with Russia, with China. There's all kinds of shit at stake here. And what they do by killing some of these people is they turn them into martyrs, which ignites the lower end people to the point where they want to fight even more. So you're igniting a future war with people that will want revenge for the killing of people. The one guy that I guess I don't even know how to say his name. I can't remember it. Starts with a K in English, whatever it was. Guess he was like
Khomeini?
87. Yeah, he was like 87 or old fucking man. They killed him and turned him into a war martyr. It's gonna fucking cause a lot of the people that have been brainwashed over there to want revenge. So great job, Trump. Yeah, it's just going to be over in no time. No, you're going to have a lot of festering embers of violence building up in these people, and it's just.
Well, I just think
Oh
we're
man.
at a point where there's no way forward without some type of wars. I mean, we're just going to have it. Look what they advertise. Look at that plane, dude. It's
Well, yeah,
business,
that's. I
business
mean,
as
that's what
usual. You
it's.
know what I mean?
War. War is business, so they're never going to end the wars.
Right.
The wondering is whether or not it's all if there are factions that are at war, or if there is an
Well,
overriding.
yeah, the point of what I'm saying is either Iranian people were blown up or CIA people were blown up, and I don't know which it was. You know what I mean?
I
The
mean,
CIA
they're
people,
probably Iranian controlled fucking CIA people. I don't know.
right? But I wouldn't consider those Iranian people for the purpose of this conversation. I'm saying there's either Iranian people that were blown up because this is Israel business as usual, or there's CIA and Mossad people that were blown up. In which case, I guess good. And I don't know which one it was. So
I mean,
you know what I mean?
they could do it in so many different ways. It's just they're doing it publicly this way, and the way that they're positioning Trump, changing the Department of Defense to Department of War, Pete Hegseth becoming the Secretary of War. They are doing it for clear purposes, and they're fulfilling what they'd already planned, just like they fulfilled what apparently was planned with Convid, and that you saw on that 4chan post, potentially somebody in the know of what was going to take place as far as the rollout of that and when it was going to happen. It was precisely what they've wanted to do. Because in any of these situations, Trump could be over here acting like he's fixing America, maybe fixing some infrastructure and all that kind of shit, while clandestine groups go in and assassinate these people. But no, this has to be a public thing. There has to be death of U.S. soldiers to ignite more people to want to fucking destroy these people, and then the war machine continues forward. There's just so many things, and yes, I think a lot of the prophecies and stuff that they want to force, like, and not just the Bible. I think a lot of the holy books and whatnot. But then somebody mentioned it, Albert Pike's letter. I think we might be seeing some of that come into play here. And I've been saying it for a while now. And anybody that watched or listened to that rant that Keith guy, that he's always on X and those X spaces, but I got that 40-minute clip out there. Like, I literally posted that just a couple days before this shit really kicked off. They've been talking about it a long time. I've been bringing it up. I think we're going to war with Iran. Sure enough, here we are.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't know, man. It's like I haven't even watched anything about it just because I don't believe anything on it. Like, I don't even know if it's real. How would you
Right.
know?
Well, even when they took out Soleimani, I think is his name. Is he the one that they hit with a missile, like that he was coming out of the airport or some shit? Was that the
I
one? Because
guess,
there was a
but
couple of them that he took out in the first one. Either
yeah,
way, there was like a picture of his hand, I think it was, and he had one of those Masonic or blood fucking gem rings on.
yeah.
And I thought
Good
that looked
riddance.
fucking fake as shit.
Right.
Now, if it really killed him, cool, whatever. He was a fucking piece of shit, like a lot of these people are. A lot of people in our U.S. government are pieces of fucking shit. But when I saw that, I was like, that's fucking weird that picture got taken. So, like, for all we know, these people are just being murdered on the surface and then taken to go party in the fucking deep underground military bases or have some facial reconstruction surgery, and they go and they live their best life in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't freaking know. We
Khomeini.
don't even know if they killed any of these Iranian guys. They just hit some
That
places
was
and whatnot.
that was
We don't
probably
know.
Khomeini. That was Jim Carrey.
It was probably was. That's his new life. He always loves the Jim Carrey movies.
No one would ever suspect that the dude that was the 87-year-old mullah of Iran for however many years is has been remanufactured into a bootleg Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Maybe
who
that's why
knows,
he was
man?
so that's why he was so into it. He was like, man, being Jim Carrey is the fucking best. It's so much better than
Right?
wearing those stinky robes and being in that desert all the time.
And screaming death to America all the time for
Right.
just for
Yeah.
the fucking film, for the
That's why it's so funny.
propaganda. Oh man.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
Well,
let's wind her up here. We did a little over 2 hours. There was a lot of conversation about all kinds of things. You never know what you're gonna get on the season of the. And yes, we thank you all for being here. If you do donate, anything on this show that got donated is going to go to #GG. And if you want to donate on any of the platforms, just put #GG, and we will keep track of all that, keep you guys posted. And as this rolls out, man, I think it's going to be exciting. So, Biscuits, I'll give you a chance to say goodbye to the people for at least maybe 2 weeks. We'll see if we do another one of the Oracular series before that or something else. But
yeah, well, that was
otherwise, it'll be
great,
2
and
weeks.
we'll be doing some more of those, I think. And then, I mean, I just appreciate the support, and I'm glad that people are getting excited about what we're working on. I'm excited about it too. So, looking forward to it. Buttery bastard
Awesome.
signing off.
Buttery bastard, man. He stifled one of the CIA's best, so now they're going to build a full team to go after the buttery biscuits and the buttery blackmail that he possesses and that he is in person. But we're thankful for you all being here. I got a little special one. I've never done this on the way out, so hopefully it just does it as I end the stream. But I created a little end credits for you all, so you have a little outro. So enjoy. And God bless you all. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
Bye, everyone.